All right, Shalom. First and foremost, as always, like all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushua, Hashem, or Kahan Kodash. I want double honors to my apostles at Great Millstone who taught me His truth, and a sincere Shalom to elect out there teaching His truth in all honesty and sincerity in these last days. Okay, and I was in Chat GPT a little bit ago, before I jumped in the shower. Do this video, and I asked it a couple questions, okay? And some of the answers to these questions were pretty alarming. I'm not gonna lie, man. They made me feel a certain way. They made me feel angry. They made me feel sad, you know. But it also made me feel hopeful because the condition that our people are in, okay, it really can't get much worse before our Savior comes back. Okay, before everything gets set up in the right order. But 2/3 of our people, like it says in Zechariah 13 and 8, have to be destroyed first, man. Okay? And our apostles, they've always been telling us about these black women, man. They're the worst of the worst. I'm telling you, man, they're the worst of the worst. Oof. And the things that I put in to Chat GPT just show it. Okay? Some of this stuff is outdated. It's probably much worse now. I can't say for sure because I don't have the raw data, but spiritually, we know that our women are getting worse and worse by the day, man. Okay. Now I had to do screen caps because it wouldn't let me copy and paste the references for some reason. Okay. So I'm just going to go with the screen caps I took. I asked it a question. Is it true that black women are the most obese in America by a large margin? And it just says yes. Okay. It is accurate that non-Hispanic black women have the highest obesity rates among all demographic groups in the United States. Okay? According to data from the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey, or NHANES, for 2017-2018. So think about this. This was taken before the Novid. Okay? Now, if you remember what happened during Novid, a lot of people started taking care of their health. Okay? The gym memberships are up, and people are eating healthier, so on and so forth. But what's the one group of people that weren't improving their health, that were actually getting worse? So-called black women, man. So this is more than likely skewed a little bit. It's probably a much bigger divide. Approximately 56.9% of non-Hispanic black women aged 20 and over were classified as obese. It's more than half. It's more than half of the black women out there are classified as obese. And it makes me think about how Apostle Gabar does those walk and talks. And he mentioned during this one video that he never sees black women out there walking and running on the tracks or riding their bikes or whatever. Okay, so it's probably probably the same or higher, and the other races are probably lower. Okay, now I can't say for sure because I don't have the hard data. But we know spiritually that's how things have been going the past 7-8 years since this study was conducted. This prevalence is higher compared to non-Hispanic white women. And white women have been getting in the gym, getting in shape, man. So that's probably lower. Okay. Hispanic women, 43.7%. Again, our women, okay, our women almost at 50%. And non-Hispanic Asian women at 17.2%. And that, see that source right there was the CDC. Okay, so our women are full of problems, man. That's why we don't need them. They got serious spirits on them. Just leave them alone. Okay, leave them alone. All right. Now I asked it about uh childhood obesity. Show some stats for childhood obesity. Okay, because our people, a lot of these children are raised by their mothers. Okay, so that popped up in my head and I asked it. It says child obesity in the United States varies significantly across different racial and ethnic groups. According, again, this is a 2017-2018 study, so it's probably worse now. According to data from the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey for 2017-2018, the prevalence of obesity among children and adolescents aged 2 to 19 years was 25.6% of Hispanic children were overweight, okay, or obese. 25, almost 25% of black children were obese, which is probably much higher for the young black girls than it is for the boys. Non-Hispanic white children were 16.1, and non-Hispanic Asian children were 8.7. These figures indicate that Hispanic and non-Hispanic black children have higher obesity rates compared to their non-Hispanic white and Asian peers. And it says gender differences are also notable. Among boys, obesity prevalence was highest in black children, while among girls, non-Hispanic black children had the highest prevalence at 29.1%. Okay, so our people are plagued with problems, man. Our people are plagued with problems, and that's why it's one of the reasons why they got so many demons and spirits on them, man. Because of all the shit in the food. Okay, makes them lazy, makes them complacent, makes them docile, turns them into zombies, makes them addicted to this culture. They're serious spirits at work, man. Okay, but these other Israelite camps, they ain't gonna talk about that because first off, they're not spiritual. Okay, they'll never admit that there's uh, serious spirits going at work here, man. They're only able to think on a carnal level. Okay, now this one, I asked it for some abortion statistics, abortion statistics per capita. Okay, now this is alarming. This one made me sad. Okay, this one made me sad, and you wonder why. What was it, 91% or something of, or 9 in 10 black women voted for Kamala Harris. She was having because that was her main platform was the abortions. Okay, the black woman her eye is evil towards her children. Okay, it's part of the curses. Now, getting into the 1948ers, where do you see any of these statistics affecting them? Okay, if they're the true Israelites, why aren't they involved in these statistics? So it said, certainly here are the abortion rates per 1,000 women aged 15 to 44 years by race and ethnicity in the United States for 2021, according to the CDC. And it says non-Hispanic black women, 28.6 abortions per 1,000 women. Hispanic women, 12.3 abortions per 1,000 women. Non-Hispanic women of other races, 9.2 abortions per 1,000. And non-Hispanic white women, 6.4 abortions per 1,000 women. Okay? So the Hispanic women were almost twice as high, or the Latino women were almost twice as high as the white women. Okay? which among those white women, there's probably some Jakes, okay? And non-Hispanic black women were at 28.6. So they were 4 times high, over 4 times higher rate of getting abortion, and more than twice as high than the Hispanic women. Wow. Now that I say that out loud, that's kind of alarming, man. That's kind of alarming. Okay? I mean, it's honestly sad, man. It's honestly sad, you know? And that was one of the things that that they did in Egypt, okay? That our people were known for being fruitful back when they were in the time of Egypt, and they ended up outnumbering the Egyptians. Man, one second. I believe I believe it's actually we'll just go to where I think it is. Right. Obviously. I thought it was one of the first 2 chapters of Exodus, but it's obviously the first one. This is Exodus 1 and 7. And the children of Israel were fruitful. So this is why uh, Esau Edom puts Planned Parenthood in the hood. This is why at the Democratic National Convention he's putting he's painting the rivers red and having live abortions, man. Okay, because he appeals to you black women, man. The Democrat Party. It's a certain type. Now, MAGA is obviously witchcraft too, just in a different sense, man. Different denominations of witches, different spells they're putting on people. Okay. Exodus 1 and 7, and the children of Israel were fruitful. So our the kings of the earth, primarily the Edomites and the Amalekites, they know this. Okay, that's why abortion is targeted towards you, and increased abundantly, and multiplied, and waxed exceeding mighty, and the land was filled with them. Okay, so this is why so-called black people here, you Negroes in America, this is why you hover at the same rate of population, because you kill your children and you're killing each other. Okay, this is why you've always stayed around 12 to 13% of the population here in Babylon. And there was another video I did a few maybe last year where I went into those statistics, man, about how the ratio of our people hasn't changed. Okay, I mean there's more Latinos now. There's more Latin of the Latin tribes now. But as far as the other tribes, that's not true. Okay, they're actually being reduced in number as far as ratios are concerned. Now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph, and he said unto his people, Behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. So this is why they keep you oppressed. Okay, This is why uh, the rulers of this world, okay, the prince of darkness of this world, okay, the principalities, the powers that be, okay. This is why everything that is negative and unhealthy and destructive is targeted towards you to keep your numbers down, to keep you docile, okay, to keep you lost, to keep you in darkness, okay, to keep you oppressed, and to keep you in that ever going cycle of just being fucking whiny and effeminate and just all fucked up, man. Okay, and to keep you in a lowest state ultimately. Exodus 1:10, come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply. And it came to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. Okay? Therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens, and they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Petham and Ramses. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew, and they were grieved because of the children of Israel. Okay? Because they knew what was going to happen, man. Okay? They felt threatened, just like Esau Edom feels threatened today. Okay? Now, the heart of this lesson is that our women are all fucked up, man. They're in a bad state. They're in a bad state, man. That's why we really shouldn't be dealing with them. Okay, they simply got too many spirits on them, and Satan's just got too much of control over them, man. Actually, let me get this in Timothy. This is 1 Timothy 2:11. Let the woman learn in silence, okay, with all subjection. Now, you ain't gonna find black women that are gonna do that, especially here in Babylon, man. They're gonna be the last woman to do that. Okay, you can have a room full of people with a handful of black women, and they'll be louder than the entire room combined, man. Our women are known for having big mouths, and their mouths get them and others around them in trouble. That's another reason why you brothers should stay away from the black woman, man. Okay? Because her mouth will get you in a situation. And it happens all the fucking time. Every single day here in Babylon. Okay? You know, we all know the term baby mama drama. But it's mostly the black woman that does that. Just like it's mostly the black woman that'll kill her own fucking children, man. Just like it's the black woman that'll use the system against you more than any of the other races of women, man. Okay, because her her god is Esau, Edom. Okay, her god is the system. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over over the man. And our women have a serious problem with authority and manners, man. They don't act right in public. They're just fucking embarrassing. Okay, they have no sense of order. And when you try and get them in order, okay, they overreact all the time, man, because they don't know how to shut their mouth because they got all them fucking spirits on them. And it's really just goes back to the curses, which I'm gonna get in a little bit. But to be in silence. For Adam was first formed, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. Okay. Now, as it is to this day, the Eve is still beguiled by the serpent. She's still beguiled by the serpent. Okay. She follows what she follows the serpent hook, line, and thinker, hook, line, and sinker, man. You look at the not even just in this truth, but you look at when it comes to conspiracy theories and just not being totally controlled and brainwashed by this media. You know, once in a while you'll find a white woman that you know knows that she's being lied to. Okay, but these black women, man, they they believe whatever they're fucking told. Okay, and a majority of them, they just don't pay attention, man. They're uninformed on everything. Okay, just with their head up their ass, man. Okay, let me read that again. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. Okay, because she was the one that ultimately went with the serpent. Okay, the deceiver. Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing if they continue in faith and charity and holiness with sobriety. Now, how's she going to be saved in childbearing if she's killing her own children at a substantially higher rate than any other race, man? Okay? Second Corinthians 11:3. But I fear, lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety, just like they do today. Okay, the serpent still beguiles Eve through his subtlety, man, by pandering to you. Okay, you so-called black woman, he panders to you, but he really doesn't care, man. He really doesn't care. He's just using you. So your mind should be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Yahweh Shah. Okay, so the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety, just like he does today, man. That's why they're overweight. That's why they're embarrassing to be around. That's why they're dangerous to themselves, others around them, and their own children. Okay, that's why they blindly follow this system. And that's why nobody wants them, man. Okay, they're all kinds of fucked up, man. Let's get the curses. Actually, let's get yeah. Let's well, the scriptures say in Isaiah the third chapter, all right, that the women rule over them and children are their oppressors, man. So not only are our women the laughing stock of the world, but they're ruling over our people. Okay, they're ruling over our people, man, because Esau Edom has put them over the black man. Actually, I want to get this last scripture, then I'll wrap it up. Um, Deuteronomy 28:56. The tender and delicate woman among you which would not venture to set the sole of her foot upon the ground. For delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son and toward her daughter. Okay? That's why there's really no family unit. Okay? Because the woman is the head of the family, and she in this society, okay, primarily you tribes, okay, she's been put there, you know, through Esau Edom to be so-called equal and to be the head of the family, man. You know, she's evil towards her husband, her sons, and her daughters, man. Because she doesn't put the family first. She puts herself first, and she uses your children against you, you husbands out there, man. Okay, and she's offering up her children to the fires of Molech, man. That's in the scriptures. Thou shalt not offer up thy children to Molech. Okay, but with that, I believe I proved the point. Till next time, shalom. I hope y'all were edified and take heed. Okay, take heed, man.